No time like the present, as they say, to go live. What do they say? The moment we have now is a gift. That's why they call it the present. I don't know what they say. Anyway, I'm going live, and I may be going live to nobody because my program kept, every time I tried to publish, it said, error on Facebook, error on Facebook. So I might be chatting to myself. So that's what I do most of the time, isn't it? So this is my 81-day drop-in creativity challenge. And I challenge you every single day to create something, because I challenge myself, and I don't see why I shouldn't challenge you guys too. So my question to you is, what will you create today? You can create once, you can create 81 times, it just doesn't matter. But I encourage you to create rather than not create, because I think that creating is a wonderful thing to do. And I'm actually going to read a little bit of the Mindful Thoughts for Makers today. That's the book that I'm going to use, Mindful Thoughts for Makers. And now this isn't artists, it's people who are actually making things with their hands, for example. And I can take my sunglasses off. I'm not hiding, seeing as there's not too much sun around my lake. This is my lake, my little lake where I do my videos quite often. Got my favourite geese, my two geese, who are one goose, two geese, who are giving me poems and having babies and terrorizing the ducks and stuff like that. So I came down to the lake, not the river, down to the river. Who's that by? Bruce. If it's by Bruce Springsteen, I don't like it. I don't like Bruce Springsteen. He can boss his own backside around, but he ain't bossing me around. What else is there? Down to the river. No. Boat on the River by Styx. That's a good one. An amazing one. Beautiful one. I Follow Rivers. It's not a lake, but it's got water in. I Follow Rivers by Licky, something like that. It's pretty cool. What else has got? Lakeside Park by Rush. Bet you don't know that one. Anyway, let's have a bit of mindfulness, shall we? You know, I'm just thinking, as I do these every day, I'm thinking, what's the point? I often think about that a lot, actually, about a lot of things I do. What's the point? And I'm definitely thinking that about this. And the point of doing these videos might be to ask me what the point is, what the point of my life is. And I often, I wonder about that when I'm creating stuff. What's it worth? Does it mean anything? And the mindful thing here actually mentions that. So I'm going to read the first paragraph and then another little bit. It's motivations for making. I'm going to sit down because I'm holding this phone up so that you're not looking up my nose, but it's not very comfortable. So motivations for making. See what you think of this. Why do we make? Sometimes we make things for the simple pleasure of making something, or because we need or want a particular item in our life. So this book, it's not about art, you see, it's about something else. It's about just literally creating things with your hands, but more on a practical thing, like making clothes or something. Other times we make for the purpose of sharing our voice in the world. We want to express ourselves and our personality through our making. Now, I'm not going to read the next bit, which is called Self-Expression Through Making, because I think the last section was shorter and a bit more interesting. It's called Self-Knowledge Through Making. Our daily process of making can be seen as a visual plan of how we see ourselves in the world. Do we perhaps sit back and watch, not making much at all? Or but watching other people create things and wishing we could step up and find our place in the making realm? Are we a maker who follows trends and wants to share only the best of what we make? Or are we happy to talk about our mistakes, the almost perfect pieces that broke or failed at the last minute? None are worse or better than another. They are simply different ways of approaching a project, and indeed life. But sometimes it is easier to examine ourselves as makers than to dissect ourselves in our wider lives. Choosing to change directions in your making process can create change in your daily life, if you so desire, to push through the challenges and create new ways of seeing and being. Understanding what propels you to make can be a way to better understand your motivations in life. Are you making for making's sake, or because the value of your time invested in creating something of purpose feels important? Are you choosing your materials wisely, or simply picking up whatever happens to be in front of you at the time? Do you make the same thing over and over again as a way of problem solving and finding a different outcome? Are you making as a way to understand yourself better, or as a way to step off the whirlwind of society's carousel? Spending a little time looking deeper at your motivation for making may help guide you to a more intentional purpose behind your makes. Rather than continuing on your life or in your studio out of habit, you can choose to move forwards with a purpose that comes from mindfulness and conscious decision. So that was a little bit of thought about making. Why do we make stuff, and what do we think when we're making it? And I often wonder that, especially when I'm doing my stuff, which is my little squares. Let me show you. This is what I'm promoting at the moment. This is up for adoption. It's called Heart to Heart. I think it's called Heart to Heart. Yeah, and that's it on its little easel. And that is a picture of 9 pictures, which shows you all the fun things you can do with it. And it looks like it didn't work on Facebook because I've got no viewers, and I normally have 1 or 2 and no comments. So I'll have to put a link to the YouTube version of this later, just in case anyone wants to look at it. Okay, so I'm going to share some of my creativity and have a look at some of yours, as usual. Remember, I encourage you to create something. Create something today. Share it in the comments underneath, or in one of my groups, Today's the Day or Infinite Creativity Now, or even the photography group or the writing group, and I will highlight it tomorrow. So I'll show you a couple of things that you have created recently, yesterday, and a couple of mine. This is the last in the series of the metaphors that go with my infinity squared paintings, which I just showed you, which is this. So these paintings, which I do, they have no beginning, no end. They're very deep and meaningful. I've created metaphors around them. So people who adopt one of these paintings will get a pack of 9 metaphors. And the idea is that I'm going to do 9 times 9. Some sort of siren there. 9 times 9, which is 81. So if people adopt 9 of them, they'll have 9 packs. But I've just done these. So this one is about we are not alone. And without reading the whole thing, it's the idea that one of these little squares in the painting, if you have it in your hand, it looks like it's a proper little square on its own, and it's independent. But in fact, it's not, because look, the pattern goes across every single side. The pattern goes onto another square, and it works for all the sides. There's no beginning and no end to these. It's like a cycle, a circle. The edges on the left match up with the edges on the right, and the top of the painting actually matches up with the bottom of the painting, so you can move it around to your heart's content. So just done 9 of those. I'm going to send them off with a personal little word to people who have adopted my paintings. The quote for today, from a series I did a while ago called Sabisms, and the quote is from Picasso, and it is, "Every child is an artist. The problem is staying an artist when you grow up." And one of my objectives in life, and what I try to communicate to anyone who will listen to me, is try to get back to when you were a child. It's such a beautiful moment. The innocence, the incredible, limitless creativity. Where does it go? It gets crushed by society and grown-up needs and stuff. So get back to being a kid. Don't care what things look like, and get your creativity out there. On that note, this sounds like I'm about to insult someone's picture. It's not, but you can see that this painting here, this drawing, is, it's quite a basic picture. It's the sort of thing I would do as a sketch. And it's from Dorothy. And here's Dorothy as well. Dorothy is one of my wonderful creative friends who does some of my masterclasses, just finished the creativity one. And here she's wandering around, possibly around some sort of circle, stone circle or something. And she was having all sorts of interesting, deep and meaningful thoughts. And apparently she sketched this, of her walking around and bonging a kind of one of those shamanistic drums or something. And she did this little sketch to accompany it, with some cursory trees in the background, maybe a kind of a stone circle in the foreground. And oh my goodness, I've just spotted this. So cool. This is really good. Look down in the bottom left. Can you see her little logo? It's actually her signature. It's a D with a C on the left and an O on the right with 2 dots. That is a logo that I helped her imagine. So now she signs her pictures. Yes, Dorothy, fantastic. Okay, I'm going to have a look at, this is a final one for Dorothy. It's, which I didn't show the other day, a gorgeous sort of beetle thing. Amazing. I don't know how big it is in real life. I mean, if it were, you know, if it were sort of, hang on, if it were that big, that'd be quite scary, but it might just be that big. Anyway, lovely. Well, what a beautiful color. This is a color that I'm working on for a painting, a sort of teal type color. I'm getting into teal at the moment. Didn't even know what it was a few days ago. And this is one from Karen. Karen, who said she went on a quick drawing class to learn how to draw human figures in action. And there it is, and it's pretty good, isn't it? Really good portrait of a guy in COVID times, by the looks of it, walking around. And here's one for Thomas. What would one of my shows be without a picture from Thomas? Thomas is going so saturated. I think he's going to come back round full circle, and pretty soon we're going to be seeing things with hardly any colour at all. otherwise, all his pictures will just end up being completely black if he saturates everything. So he's very much exploring, investigating this style, which is very cool. Right. Well, I don't think if anyone has made it this far, this is where I say what I'm offering at the moment. On my Facebook page, I put this up yesterday, and it says, I have many ways to help you explore and explode your creativity. Oh yeah. Which one is right for you? And in that post, I put a list of everything I do. I won't say that here, but I do offer a load of different ways in which you can be creative, including masterclasses, a mastermind, which is coming up soon. As soon as I have enough people on it, excuse me, to do that. It's just a very intimate, small mastermind, 4 to 6 people, very powerful. And we'll move forward very quickly on some creative projects that you bring. And I'm doing Paris retreats next year, and also one-to-one coaching. And on the subject of one-to-one coaching, this is a new thing that I'm trying out. There I am, over the top of that. Hello. And I'm calling it Unlimited Laser Coaching for 1 year. I was going to put the name Rainbow in, but I thought that was a bit too cute. But what it is, it's an incredible system. You basically have 15-minute laser coaching sessions. In 15 minutes, we get together, you book it, we get together, we talk about what's going on, we look at your next step, and you commit to doing some homework, basically working on whatever it is you're trying to advance quickly on. Then, when you've done the work, you book another session whenever you want to, and it's illimited. You have as many sessions as you want. The only condition is, which is a fantastic condition, is that you have to do the work before your next session. So, incredible way to move forward, fantastic way to get a lot of coaching, continual accompaniment for a year. And the good thing is it's at a price which is way below what a normal session would cost with me. A normal year's accompaniment, is in the thousands of dollars, and this is just less than 1,000 for unlimited coaching for 1 year. So I'm hoping that's a couple of people. I don't have much space, so maybe 3 people can take me up on that, and we'll see what happens in the next year. It should be pretty amazing. So get in touch if that interests you. And finally, this is the mastermind, which I am in the process of filling. It's going to be a maximum of 6 people, minimum of 4, and it will start as soon as I have people who are ready. So if you want to go to this page, infinitecreativitynow.com/mastermind, you can read all about it. Very interesting page, information page, and you can book up there and then. And if you want any information about my other coaching, then just go to infinitycoaching.biz. There's a green button. Click the green button and book a session with me, free session, and we chat about what might be the best way for you to move forward in having the most amazing creative year ever, ever. In any aspect of your life. You don't have to be creating pictures. You could be creating a new life, if you like, creating a company. Doesn't matter. As long as you're into creativity and you want to forge ahead, that's who I work with. Okay, folks. So I think nobody watched that because it didn't go live on Facebook. But thanks for watching if you eventually watched this one way or another. And leave your comments. Please leave some comments. Any questions about creativity and productivity, it's my thing. I love it. I will talk about it until the cows come home, especially when it's in relation to your projects. So take care, and I'll see you again tomorrow, possibly live next time. Bye for now.